Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a pretty cool and sought-after wooden wall telephone. I do believe you could get these through the phone company years ago, and I also think that you could get them in the AT&T stores before they closed down. And so on this telephone here, it was sent in by another telephone repair company, which is not uncommon. We get telephones in all the time from other telephone repair companies, and then we repair them and send them back to them, and then they get them back to their customers. And so in an initial checkout video of this telephone, we went through this telephone and checked it out, and when you would say dial any number and you broke dial tone, there was a rushing noise in the handset. And it was basically loud enough to just kind of drive you a little nuts. And so what we did notice in that initial checkout, and I showed in that checkout video, that someone has taken the transmitter capsule and basically wrapped it in tape, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because everything inside this handset, this is a rubber piece that holds it in, and then the encasement for the transmitter capsule is plastic, and so is the cap. So basically it didn't make a lot of sense to wrap that in tape, but obviously they were looking for a reason of why there was a loud rushing noise, basically like an open mic on a windy day kind of thing. And so what they did was they also soldered the connections onto this transmitter capsule, but they've got so much solder here, it basically was probably heated up too much, and it's a possibility we're going to have to change this transmitter, just for the simple fact that it looks like it might have been overheated. But that wasn't the initial problem anyway. It really didn't have much to do with this transmitter capsule. But now that we see that they've gone in and soldered on it and probably heated it up too much, we'll probably have to replace that. But anyway, in the earlier video, I talked about how I was going to have to troubleshoot this telephone at board level. And what we did find in the troubleshooting process was an IC chip that ended up being the culprit. And so I didn't have any of these in stock, and I didn't have, I didn't think we were going to find this chip too easily. But I'm going to get rid of this now, set it over here. We did find a company, basically, that had that were selling these, and it's a pretty cool company on the internet. And if you think that, if you're looking for some electronics that are hard to find, some components, and you think they might have them, because they actually had this chip, and they had two of them. I think they have some more. But if you have some hard to find components and you think that they might be of some help to you, just contact me and I'll put you, I'll hook you up with them. So basically that was cool that we found the chip that we needed, and really didn't have to search too hard for it. But it came today. So what we did was we started to install this, and I'm going to move everything around here so I can show you what's going on. In the meantime, troubleshooting this board, basically what we'd come up with is the plug that plugs onto the main PC board that goes into the dial. These aren't the greatest plugs in the world. I've dealt with these through the years, and if you move them around too much, the little prongs inside, they're kind of like C-clamps. They start bending apart, and they just get all out of whack, and it really just kind of gets aggravating. And I'm on my last one here, so what I do with these when they start giving me trouble is I go ahead and I get rid of that plug, and I hard solder them to this other plug on the main PC board, and then we can dump some hot glue on there, and there wouldn't be any chance of these prongs touching each other. But I don't like bad connections, so this is also kind of preventive maintenance, basically, so that we don't have to worry about that plug any longer, and we know it's soldered. What I'm going to do here real quick is I want to clean my soldering gun off a little bit, and I want to go ahead and I want to solder this pin. Now, we've already installed the chip, removed the old one, and installed this new chip. And I want to make sure that I get some more solder on the pins. And I have a couple pins that I haven't soldered yet. But I want to go ahead and get this last wire for the keypad soldered up. And then we're going to do some final checks on this telephone and see if there's any other components that we're going to have to troubleshoot for. I want to spin this around. We've got one of the bell wires disconnected just so that we had enough length of wire. I want to go ahead and touch up some of these last pins. We'll get this going real quick. I'm going to hit one more over here. Now, another thing you want to do is you want to always make sure that you don't have any solder that's crossed over. It can happen. Might want to touch this one up here a little bit. So all that looks pretty good now, and I'm hoping there's not too much reflection off that light, but basically I'll try to flip this board around and show you here what we got going on. It's a little difficult to work with since you got so many different wires going everywhere. I also want to plug my bell back in. Get this back over where it belongs, and then we're going to do some final checks. Try to spin this around. And here's the other end of this plug. And I've taken quite a few of these off in my day. They don't last long. You can't move the wires around too much with them. It's kind of a one-shot deal. You know, they put it on at the factory. It stays plugged in, and if it ever gets kind of troubleshooted, or somebody's taking it apart or looking it over, then you're always going to have problems with those plugs. So now what we want to do is I want to go ahead and plug my telephone in. We have dial tone. Now we want to make sure it dials out. So I'm going to go through the numbers, because not only is that chip control of the speech, the amplification of the speech or transmit, it also has a dialing function in it. It's not a tone generator, but everything runs through there. So basically the tone generator will run through that, and has to. So that chip can actually cause this telephone not to dial out, even if the tone generator is in good shape. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and set something up underneath this telephone. And I want to dial some numbers here. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, star, pound, 1, and a 2. And so now we don't have any dial tone. Dial tone's been taken away by dialing the numbers. And I'm going to set the receiver up here by the video. And I don't hear any loud rushing noise any longer. Before it sounded like an open mic in the wind. And I'll show you here again. What I'll do is I'll hang the phone up, give you some dial tone, dial a 2, and I just don't hear that rushing noise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another thing that was going on that I might have mentioned, if you see this red light here, this is 100% modulation on the analyzer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I can already see that it's transmitting and has some amplification to it. Before, the telephone was real fuzzy and it would barely modulate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would barely transmit and modulate. So we know that this telephone is repaired basically at this point. I am going to go ahead and have a couple of conversations on this telephone because I want to make sure that this transmitter is going to be okay, because they went and soldered on it. And, it would have been okay to solder those leads onto the transmitter, but you have to do it very quickly. You can't glob up the solder, and you don't want to heat up the transmitter too much, because you're just going to melt the diaphragm inside and everything that goes along with it. So you can actually ruin them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. So now what we can do is I'm going to remove the analyzer line, and I'm going to come over and plug the telephone into a regular line. Give you some dial tone here. And I'm going to go ahead and dial a time and temp number.
Service for your car today? Call any of our service departments or make an appointment online at Offenburg.com. Today is Monday, September 26th. The time is 11:55. Current temperature 67 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area. Mostly cloudy tonight, 50% chance of rain, lows in the low 50s. Partly sunny on Tuesday, 20% chance of a shower, highs around 70.
Now another thing I want to do is I'm going to call my number. And it's going to be busy. But I just don't hear that rushing noise that we heard before. It was just, it was enough to get in there and really bother you when you were trying to talk on the phone. But the transmit is also working properly now, and so we know the telephone is repaired. Another thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and ring this telephone. Let it go one more time. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to dial the numbers one more time. And now that the dial tone has gone away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still have a nice strong transmit here, so it's being amplified properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another thing I want to show you is I'm going to go ahead and show you an analog meter on this analyzer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. So we know that the telephone is working now. I can go ahead and do some final other checks like talking on the telephone and making sure that this transmitter capsule doesn't need to be replaced. And if it does, we'll replace it, and that'll be the end of it. This is the final checkout video of this telephone. And what was neat about it is we found this company, and they had a couple of these ICs that I needed, and they had a 2-pack, so I thought that was pretty cool. And basically it's a telephone speech network with a dialer interface. So, you know, this chip, everything that this telephone basically does runs through this chip. And it's not a tone generator, but everything runs through this chip. And I thought it was pretty cool that this company had some of these. So, like I said earlier, if you think they might be able to help you, you know, with a hard-to-find component or something, contact me and I'll hook you up with this company. Anyway, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. And this is a telephone in from another telephone repair company, and now that it's repaired, I can get it back to them and they can get it back to their customer. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.